Are live.
No, I don't have
Hello,
yellow.
everybody. Yeah, we are live. This is
Now.
the MDM, million dollar mission. Lynn, Carol, and Ellie, and we are back tonight. And you know what? It's a pot of gold. I mean, I'm sorry, a potluck of things. It's a pot of gold too. It's a potluck of giving thanks tonight. That's what we want to do. But first off, we start off with a toast. So we're going to have Ellie toast us in.
Okay, so here we are. It's a potluck of thanks because, we appreciate you. We do. We wouldn't be here if you weren't here. I appreciate those two down at my bottom here that I see down at the screen. I appreciate the community that we belong to. And if you're not a part of our community and you're coming in here and you're lurking, you don't have to lurk because we appreciate you too. So it's 2 days from Thanksgiving in the United States. It's a traditional, give thanks. But, as far as I'm concerned, the best way to start your day every day is to give thanks. So my toast is thank you all for being here, and thank you just for showing up every day to your life, whatever that is. Cheers.
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 Oh, and
yeah.
I told everybody to bring their beverage, so I hope they also cheered with us.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we want you to, participate in this toast. And you know what? We were talking earlier today about all the different ways that we can give thanks, and there's so many different ways that we can show gratitude and being thankful and all that kind of thing. And so I started thinking about it, and I have to start off and say that these two ladies right here, if I didn't meet them, if I didn't go to an event, if I didn't even join this company, I wouldn't even know these two gals. And I'm telling you, it's been very, very uplifting in my life, in my husband's life. I mean, because we both know them really well. And it's just one of those that, when you can really connect with people, and I think Ellie talks on this a lot, where some people think that you can't meet people online. Well, that's a myth. and we are the myth busters, because I have to give thanks to these two gals, because it's just been, it makes my life just so much more enjoyable, and I have so much fun in this business because of them. And some of the things that we hash out and we talk about and all this kind of thing, it really is, I'm really grateful for that. And so, maybe this is a time for you to think about those people that you've surrounded yourself with, and giving thanks and being grateful for them, because they're probably the people, hopefully they're the people that are lifting you up. And we hope that, by what we do every single week here, we're consistent and persistent, that we're giving back to you and contributing towards you to lift you up as well. So I just wanted to start off with that, and that's it. So I'm going to pass it off to Carol or Ellie.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Lynn, and right back to you.
And I have to say, just in case you noticed, Carol has her MDM shirt on.
So, thank you for the MDM shirt. Thank you, and Denny, for the lovely relationship that's developing with us, that has developed so far and that continues to develop. And as you say, it's made a huge difference in our lives, both personally and business-wise. So thank you. Bottom line, I always like to look at my health, and I thank the universe for my good health. And beyond that, then comes people. And besides family, I'm going to bring this more into the business mode right now. There's so much to be appreciative of and to be thankful for. Let me start with just one area, and maybe you can pick it up from there, Ellie. First of all, I'm so appreciative of the fact that we got into this business when we did, because we have such a cadre of products that are fantastic, the greatest products. I mean, some of the original ones I still haven't gotten all the way through. And then the latest ones that have come out are absolutely great. There's just so much. It covers, there's nothing that it doesn't cover, let me put it that way. And if you follow the products, and there's no reason why you can't get your business going and learn things along the way. And along with the products comes the trainings. We have had, since Orlando, we have had some fantabulous trainings that have gone on with Alex, Michael, and John, for one, Mark, Marion, and Karen. So many hangouts that we've been connected with, and groups that we belong to. Lawrence, it just goes on and on and on. I mean, you could just name hundreds of people. But I'm just going to, for right now, focus on the products. Like I said, I'm so pleased, so appreciative of the products that have been developed. Because it's like a master's degree in marketing right here in our own business that's available to us. So that said, I will move it along and pass it off to Ellie. Are you ready to come back or no?
Here I am. I'm here. I was coughing.
Oh, I thought you...
I'm okay. I'm okay. So, I agree with all of that, but I have to go back to me, it's always about community. If I didn't like the community, I don't care how good the products are. I don't know if I'd still be here. I really mean that. I really mean that. So we end up with the best of both worlds here. And it's so true. People go, oh, what do you do that social media for? Those aren't real friends. And you're like, are you serious? And then we do have that opportunity that we meet these people. I see Ray is on the chat, and John is on the chat. And we've met them at events and formed relationships, truly relationships. So that's amazing to me. Lynn and Denny, I mean, I don't even know how we did finally hook up and then really formed a tight relationship, that it's like, oh, we're so excited when we see each other. And then we do get on here. And, this thing is amazing. Like, I appreciate, like the technology. Because when you can sit down and you can see somebody and talk with them because you see their eyes, all right, that's so much better than the phone. So the relationship does get formed. I mean, that is just so cool. It really is, But if you're here and you're not in our community, of course I happen to say, why not? Okay, it's the best. But, obviously I'm being a bias here. It really is. When we talk about business and products and all of this stuff, so many people get in and they right away it's like, just, let me do this. And then if you don't have, the word thanks is a good word. I don't like the word grateful. It's just a word, doesn't work for me. The word appreciate works for me. Really, they're very close. And both of them, as far as I'm concerned, are all the way on that spectrum of love. When you appreciate something or you're grateful for it. Grateful almost sounds like, I don't know, like you owe somebody something or what have you. I prefer to appreciate. So I start my day every day writing an appreciation list of what I appreciate. Because I want to start in that mode. And when people are talking about what's wrong, you're not talking about what you appreciate. And I'm not telling you I never talk about what's wrong, but I really, really try not to. If you can focus on what you appreciate, whether you believe in the law of attraction or not, okay, this magical thing happens. You can call it whatever you want to call it. When you focus on what you appreciate or you're grateful for, if that word works for you, or you are thankful for, okay, it just happens that more things show up that you're grateful for or thankful for or appreciate. Now, you could call it a coincidence if you want. You could call it God. You could call it universe. You could call it magic. Or you could call it law of attraction. I don't really care what you call it. All right? You've got to do it for 10 days straight in a row. And then come back and talk to me. You can't do it like for 3 times on one day and then not do it and then do it 1 or 2 times. You've got to do it. I'm even going to say in 5 days you're going to see a difference. All right? And then come back and talk to me. Because you're already going to see your life to change. So when people get in and they're like, rah, rah, and it's like, slow down. This is why I talk always about mindset. I don't know why people don't get this. All right? Do we have the best products? I really do believe that. Could you find the information on the internet? Yes, you could. Okay, you will be searching your ass off for a long time to piece it all together, okay, and you won't get it in this exact order or the way it's in there. You won't, but you could piece it eventually together. But it'll take you a long time to do it. So that part of business you could find, all right? What you have to bring out is that mindset, that appreciation, and it's actually so much easier when you have a community like we have. Because if I start to go off on a bitch mode, somebody's going to grab me, okay? They are. They're not even going to let me bitch. They're going to tell me what's good in my life. They're going to tell me what's working. They're like this huge positive factor in your life. They really are. And usually those people we have out there aren't so much so. Or maybe right in your own home they aren't so much so, because we're more trained. We are. We're trained to talk about what we don't like. We're trained to bitch and moan. We are. We're more trained to bitch and moan than we are trained to appreciate and let other people know that we appreciate them, and and that we're thankful for them. So to me, that's huge. Without that, I don't care. That's mindset, and I don't care what products you have, what business you're in. It's going to take you a long time to walk down that road. I was just listening to an Inner Circle again that we've listened to before, and I was actually grabbing pieces of it. And the guy who has made a tremendous amount of money in internet marketing, and I'm not giving out his name, he talked for, I don't know, like 100 minutes, okay? And like 90 of them were all about mindset. 90 of them about getting that perspective, and so that business perspective is not just like I'm doing business. It's about understanding a vision, appreciating your vision, reading your vision, appreciating the people, appreciating your life. I always say, hey, I got up this morning. Okay, there's always something to appreciate, because the other option was I'm not getting up. So you start your day off right away going, okay, I got up. And then I always appreciate my coffee, because I love coffee. But I love to come here, and find out what we always have a topic, but we never know exactly how it'll go, because of this mix we have here, and because you out there. So I really do appreciate being here. I appreciate working with Lynn and Carol, and I absolutely appreciate you. I'm going to turn it over.
Well, you know what, Ellie, you mentioned something about letting others know that you appreciate them. And I got to tell you, if there's anything that we've been learning inside this community, but also with the way technology is today, how all these, everybody has one of these, right? And we're always constantly on our phones or we're on our computers, and so we're communicating in a tech way, a virtual way, rather than face to face. And I love these hangouts too because it's kind of like face to face, kind of. We're still not, interactive. That would be way more cool, but at least you see us. We, see your comments and things like that, which, yeah, we totally appreciate you for doing that and engaging with us, because I think that is important. We do have to let people know more and more and more how much we appreciate them, how much we're grateful for them being in our lives, or doing the things that they do to help us in our day-to-day business and even in our personal lives. I mean, look, there's all these, people on these social sites that, it's about me, right? Okay, I kind of get it. You got to get your name out there, I guess, and be seen and all that kind of thing. But here's another take. I follow Gary Vaynerchuk, if anyone knows him, and he's got a little potty mouth on him, but you know what? His message is so good, and he's been around for years, building this dynasty business, and it's because he understands how to communicate with people in this virtual world, and it's basically appreciating others, and he does that in his own unique way. Well, we can do that as well. We can get on social media and share other people's stuff, right? That's a form of appreciation, showing respect to that person, because that's what being thankful for, and appreciation and gratefulness and all that. You're respecting that person and saying, hey, this is really good content. I'm going to share this, You could go out there and do that, and the more you share is the more you're going to give back. You're going to get back because you're giving. This is, I remember 3 years ago, all the Monday, night calls that we have, and I can't remember who even said it, but they said, be a giver first. Think about that. Be a giver first. Be thankful for yourself. Always find gratitude in your heart and in your passion and what it is that you're doing, and then be a giver, And then when you do that, then people just start engaging and connecting and all that. And I really do think, Ellie and Carol, I really do think that's the reason why we connected. Because it's that kind of attitude or personality or whatever you want to call it. It's the reason why we connected, and I believe it's the reason why this community is growing stronger and stronger each day, because we have people like this. We have people like Ray and John and all these other people that we know in our circles within this community and within this social sphere and virtual, technology, which is so cool. So I think, like Carol was talking about, how we do have some amazing products, and we can help each other, right? If somebody writes a blog post about the top producer formula, go ahead and share it for them. You know what I mean? Be proud that that is a product that we all love, but share somebody else's content, not just your own. Go out there and help each other, and that shows that appreciation, that gratitude, that thankfulness, and all that kind of cool stuff. So I wanted to kind of like add that in there, because I think that's a big way, and Ellie touched on that. Let's show people that we appreciate each other, and I think that would be a great way to start your business and start living your life too, really. I mean, if you think about it. But I'm telling you, when I came from this corporate mindset, it wasn't like that. It was so much competition in the corporate world that I came from, because I wanted to get to that next rung of the ladder, right? I wanted to make that next promotion. I wanted to get that bigger bonus. I wanted to beat out that guy or that gal. And it was so much competition, it was ridiculous. And that's all I ever thought about. So we never kind of gave back to one another and appreciate each other. So anyway, I just wanted to add that, and now I'll pass it off to Carol.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to comment on a couple of comments that I see in the chat. I'll start with Ray. That was the first one I saw, who is the embodiment of supporting other folks when good things befall them. Ray's the first one to congratulate and share it around and what have you. And as you mentioned, Lynn, about support, and and Ellie also, you mentioned support as well. This community is wonderful in that way, and I have to give my appreciation to Ray in particular for that. And also John, who mentions that we've got each other's back. And I'm going to give just a couple of examples of that. Ellie and I were involved in a hangout with our own teams recently, and I couldn't show up because we were traveling. That was it. I'm trying to think of the reason why. We were going to the event. And one of the other gals just stepped up to the plate and took my spot. And she said, you know, don't worry, we've got you covered. And a couple of weeks later, somebody else was supposed to be running the hangout, and they were involved in a car accident on the way home to do the hangout. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. It was sort of a fender bender, but nevertheless. And Ellie just stepped up to the plate and took over. So, I mean, you know, competition, no. Cooperation, yes. It's just wonderful to see that in action. And also, I wanted to talk a little bit about freedom. And I will speak about that from a personal standpoint because I, too, like you, Lynn, had been from the corporate world, and prior to that, I worked for the government for many years in my career. And actually, I enjoyed that part of it much more than I did the corporate part. But as I got to the end, I realized that, you know, my God, I spent my life, my work life, working for somebody else, you know, building their business in the corporate world there the last time, and off the sweat of my back, you know. And I was, you know, appreciative that I had a job, especially during the rough times, economically speaking. You know, I pulled in a decent salary, but then when it came time to leave that job, and fortunately there was this opportunity to come into this business, which I had never thought of before, but Ellie had started, and I joined her in it. And you want to talk about freedom. Whew. It took months for me to get used to the idea that I didn't have to be someplace at some time, and you know, I didn't have to answer to somebody. And, oh, what a great feeling! I didn't have to ask permission to go to the events. You know, we want to go to an event, we go to an event. I don't have to get put in for permission for time off or, you know, whatever, like a little school kid. So this freedom, I am so appreciative of that. And if anybody, you know, again, let me back up a little bit. For some people, and for me as well, the job worked for a long, long time. Worked very well. I knew where my bread and butter was coming from. I knew how much was coming in. I knew what was expected of me. I knew how much time I had off, blah, 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 blah. And I worked my life around it. But this way, it's so different, so different. You live your life and you work your business into your life. So it's kind of the opposite. And like I said, I'm so appreciative. And if anybody is looking for freedom, I can't, what's the word I want? Cajole? No, I can't recommend more highly that you certainly consider this type of lifestyle, because it's fantastic. You can go wherever the hell you want, whenever the hell you want, and think about whatever the hell you want. You don't have to think about, you know, do I have my report ready for work tomorrow morning or whatever? No, no, no. It's just you think about the creativity and what you can bring to your business. And, you know, just this week, Ellie's been talking about some new ideas that have come her way that fantastic. She floors me with this stuff that she comes up with. And, you know, other stuff that I've seen other people doing. You know, you don't have the freedom to do that elsewhere when you're on a job. Some people, yes, can be creative, but still there always seem to be some confines within which you can develop your creativity. Here, no, you're on your own, baby. You can do what you want. So I am very, very appreciative of that freedom. And that said, I will pass it along. Ellie?
Yeah. See, now, she looks very, very blurry to me. Does she look blurry to you?
Yeah, Carol's blurry, but now you're clear, Ellie.
I guess it's always one or the other. Realize we're coming in on one connection, right? And we don't have those fast connections you folks have. We live in the boonies. We're excited we have connection. So, so I appreciate the boonies. Okay, and I appreciate that the boonies has connection at least. So I'm excited for that. We don't have cell phone reception up here. We have to drive 2.5 miles together, but whatever. All right. We're here. We get here. So sometimes one of us is clear, one of us is not, whatever. I just appreciate it. It's here. So I'm just looking at the big whole idea of it, not for nothing. I know Canada had their Thanksgiving in October. I don't think all countries do what we call Thanksgiving anyways, but it's kind of silly that we regulate it for one day. And I don't want to get into the history, which most of it's inaccurate, so I really don't want to get into the politics of it, okay? But it's kind of like regulate it for every day, Start your day with something good in your head. I don't know if you've seen that commercial where the person picks something up for somebody and somebody sees it, and then that person opens a door and somebody sees it. It's all these, these wonderful things. And of course, it can be the other way, right? You get up, you stub your toe, and then the day goes, and then you burn your toes, and then you spill coffee. And so it's kind of one or the other. And it really is, we have a choice. What I'm so amazed at, and the older I get, not that I'm getting old, okay, the more I'm aware of how we have this box thinking. We have this box thinking. So, which is why lots of times people coming from an employee mindset, because you're coming from a job, is they have a little bit of a hard time with this at first. Doing any kind of business, entrepreneurship, because it's a different thinking. And it's not like, oh, you were born to be an employee and you were born to be an entrepreneur. That's bull crap. It's a different thinking, though. And you have to adjust to it. I remember years ago, and when I first started doing any kind of thing on my own, I was actually a wood carver. That's a whole long story. But, I was setting up a business, and I had no idea what I was doing. And I had no idea how much my mindset was sabotaging me. That I had no idea. So I ended up in, I don't know what you call that, MLM, whatever. I don't want to say the name. It's years ago. Network marketing, whichever. To me, they were always the same. And actually, while that business wasn't for me, it led me into even more and more books. Well, I had been already reading Wayne Dyer books, and so I've been reading for years that kind of information. That other business also was into personal development and kind of intertwined with it. So it had me reading more and more books. When you realize, even looking at all those situations, like you go, oh, they didn't work out, and I go, oh my God, they were huge stepping stones to bring me to where I am today. Now some are slower than others. It took me a lot of years to move around, maybe. It doesn't matter. It's a journey. So I appreciate all those so-called not good, bad things. And that's a learning how to reframe, how to shift out of that old way of thinking and these things. And I've had something going on in the last couple of weeks. I wasn't jumping up and down happy about it. And I had to, and it's been like, I got to work at that. I have to keep switching it. I have to keep saying, okay, there's an opportunity here. I don't see it yet, okay? I don't see it, but I know that it's the universe answering me, all right, for what it is that I want in my life. And I have to trust that. And I have to look at this instead of a bad thing as the opportunity. Because the more I look at it as the opportunity, the easier it will be able to show the opportunity to me. I hope you got that. Because that's big. The more I look at it as an opportunity, the easier it is for it to show me the opportunity that lies in that. But if I look at it as bad, I have blinders on. And I'm only seeing this way. And I'm seeing the bad, okay? And freaking opportunity is like jumping up and down. Woo! And I can't see it because I got a blinder on. So that's what appreciation, being thankful, being grateful, being kind, okay? That opens those doorways. I know it. I really do know it because look, I'm a New Yorker, okay? We're born skeptical, a downstate New Yorker, not an upstate New Yorker where I live. I come from down in Queens, okay? We are born skeptical, right? We are sarcastic and skeptical, okay? We're born that way, so we're raised that way. So, you know, I had to make a lot of adjustments and realize that is who I always was anyways. Okay, I really wasn't sarcastic. That's a defense mechanism. That's all sarcasm is a defense mechanism, and not trusting mechanism. You know, and just finally realizing it's not about trusting other people. It's about trusting where I'm going. It's about trusting me. It's about trusting and appreciating my inner voice and my connection to whatever it is. Call it God if you want to call it God, call it universe. I don't care what you call it. All right, get that connection, you know, to whatever it is that guides you and talks to you because it's there for you. And the more you hang out with crazy people like us who come on here and make toasts at night, you know, on Tuesday nights and talk about this stuff, and you get involved in the community. Again, I happen to think Alice is the best, but you know, wherever it is that you find it, give thanks for it and let them know that you give thanks for it. I'm passing the sofa.
Holy smokes! I don't know what to say after that. You touched on a lot of stuff that was just perfect. I mean, seriously, Ellie, it really does start from. I've always said it always starts from the inside. You know, it's your inner self, and if you don't appreciate who you are, then you need to reconnect with your passion and your heart, and what is it? Who are you? And you know, what's your real purpose here? And that was something I had to do when I first started with Empower Network because I didn't have a clue. I was really a robot mom, okay, a corporate robot mom. I mean, seriously, that's what I was. Because I did have to get used to getting up in the morning and saying, oh, okay, I make the decisions. You know, I have to do certain things in order to start getting leads and sales. You know, I have to start learning new skills and develop new these new marketing strategies and things like that that were far different than what I did in my corporate world. So I think it does boil down to you have to be appreciative of yourself and put that trust and respect in yourself and know that you can do whatever you put your mind to it, but the mind has to connect with your heart. It has to connect with your passion. It has to connect with the person that you are. Because that's the one thing I didn't connect. I just had in my head that, oh yeah, I was this corporate gal and I could make fast decisions and do this and that, but I didn't have, you know, that purpose or that passion to connect with the brain. And once I started going through more personal development and reading more and listening to audios and getting around people that are positive mindsets, people that were in the same realm as me, okay, that wanted to be free, but I didn't know how to be. And so that's what I needed to learn. And you know, these past 3 years that I've been in this company, in this community, you know, there's bumps in the road. There's highs and there's lows, and you just have to accept that, because that's part of business too. It's not only part of life, but it's part of business. And people, you know, the minute that there's a low, they want to start blaming something. So they start blaming the company or their sponsor or their, you know, whatever. They don't want to blame themselves that they didn't stay the course. They didn't keep the focus. They didn't appreciate what they've had done up to this point. And I got to tell you, if I didn't have, there was, I won't say her name, but there was a, because her and her husband now are top leaders in our company, but she really kicked my butt. This was 2 years ago, and I still have some emails from her and some Skype messages and things like that. And I'm telling you, if I didn't have that person to tell me, you know what, Lynn, you need to get, you know, you need to shake this thing off. You need to have more self-belief in yourself. And if she didn't tell me that in the way that she told me, I didn't realize it. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that, you know, I'm grateful for Ellie and Carol and for us coming together with MDM. And I'm hoping that what we share with you guys is something that you can take away, or even if it's just one small tidbit of information that gets you thinking about, you know, a different direction or different a different way of being in your own business, so you can get different results that you've been wanting to get. And I hope that that's what we're doing for you, that we're contributing towards that. And so therefore I'm very, very grateful for us and for this group and for our community and for you out there listening in, even if you're listening to the replay. You know, we really, really do appreciate you. So with that, I'm going to pass this off to Carol.
Wow, you got the wheels turning here about so many things. Let me go to the leaders for a minute. There is, again, a particular leader whom I met at the first event I went to, and Ellie knew of her before that, and we began to, you know, develop an event-type relationship at each event. And, you know, once in a while we cross on the internet and what have you. And the second last event we went to, I think it was, she said something to Ellie that was similar to what you got from that person, a kick in the pants that said, you know, what's the matter with you two? Get going here. Well, yeah, so many words. And whoa, that was good. That was good. But to get on to, I mean, the fact that they would even, you know, take the time, you know, I'm not on that person's team. You know, they care. They care. That's really what it boils down to. They care enough to take an interest and to say something to you, and I certainly appreciate that. When you were talking before, Lynn, you were talking about, you know, it comes from the inside. We have to work from the inside and connect with the mind. And yes, life is an inside job. And that reminded me of something that made me chuckle. I started in personal development, what is it, about 12, 13 years ago, after my partner passed away. And I was totally lost, totally lost. I just didn't know how to be, I didn't know who I was, didn't know what to do. And, you know, I questioned whether I should even continue to be on this planet. Not that I had a plan or anything, because I had a disabled dog at the time who I thought needed me. As it turned out, I needed her. But shortly thereafter, I ran into Ellie, who introduced me to the notion of personal development, and she started me on, you know, tapes in those days, Wayne Dyer and what have you, and then Abraham. And we used to meet after bereavement group, and we'd have coffee, and she would talk about your inner being, right? And then with her accent, I used to think she was saying inner being, I-N-N-A, being, B-E-A-N. I'm saying, what the fuck is an inner being? So then, needless to say, that got cleared up as conversations continued.
Maybe Ellie was a farmer and you didn't know it.
Bingo! I think you got it. So that cracked me up. But yes, funny, in this business, I often say this, that I call them road bumps. Every road bump that we come into, I have to start, re-examining myself, becoming more aware again, thinking about what's going on in my head, how can I look at this differently, blah, blah, blah. And each time I say, well, that's good, I've got it now. And then, no, there's another road bump, and it happens again. And then, I realize that's just life, the way it is. And it's great, because each time I believe we expand a little bit. We grow a little bit from each experience. And again, I have to go back to, for me, I'll speak for myself, to the job thing. I was on the phone, and much of the time, more than 50% of the time, I was hearing complaints, and oftentimes people were laying expectations on us that were outrageous. Let me put it that way. And every time the phone, I'd hang up, there'd be another call that would come in, and I didn't have enough time to process each one, or to get over each one, if you would. And all this anger and angst would store up in me, store up in me, store up in me. And, like, who had time to become aware of, I knew I was pissed, but I didn't know what to do with it, because then another call would come in, and the same thing again. And that's another thing that I can appreciate from this business, because there is the time to be able to work through these road bumps and these situations that come along. And they don't have to be related to business, they can just be related to life. But because of the nature of our business, we do have the time and the freedom, again, to, I'll go back to that word freedom, to take the time to work on ourselves and work through these issues. I don't even like to call them issues, these situations. So, opportunities. So, all right, that said, I'll pass it along.
Yeah, great information. So, I'm thinking about, first of all, inner being. Okay, I remember that. I'm like, finally, she's like, what are you saying? INNABEA? No, inner being. And she's from New York. Okay, she's from Long Island though, so whatever. They don't talk like us, from people from Queens. Here's what I'm realizing. No, what I had to realize, and then I had to implement in my life, in my mouth. I have no idea what that was about. Maybe through my mouth, from my mouth. I don't care. I don't care what the situation is. There's always something to appreciate. Now, you heard Carol say, right? I mean, we met in a bereavement group. Both of us had long-term partners who passed away. So there's always something to appreciate. I don't care how bad a situation looks. There's always something to appreciate. And sometimes it takes a little bit of work, because we become overwhelmed with the yuck, but that work is the work that, like you were saying earlier, that expands you, that changes you, if you take that time, So I do start my day appreciating, and I always tell people, it's coffee breaks, go take an appreciation break. You just write down a few things. If you wrote something down in the morning, it's a good idea to write it. Bring that with you. You can add to it. You can just review it. But there's always something, because it doesn't even have to be right here in your face. Sometimes, like I'm looking out here, we are in the boonies in the winter. Thank God it hasn't snowed yet. But there are times we are covered with snow, and I will say, butterflies. I appreciate butterflies. Now, there ain't no butterflies flying around out there, okay, at that point. But I will just bring, like, that butterfly into my, and I just get this great feeling. So you don't have to see right there, and you can just bring it up. Bring up something that you appreciate. I happen to think it's like one of the best tips that I can give you and that you can do for yourself on a daily basis. And I'm thinking about this today. So again, we are 2 days away from Thanksgiving. If you're celebrating Thanksgiving, a lot of you are going down to family. If you're doing this business or a similar business or an internet business, okay, you might have family that thinks you're nuts. Okay, so stay out of the conversation. Don't try to convince them that you're not nuts, and don't try to convince them that they should be doing it, and don't try to convince them that you're right and they're wrong. Just change the conversation and just appreciate them. Don't be mad at them. Just appreciate them. Just there's something about them that you appreciate. Keep bringing that foremost. But years ago, I was done that. I'm in this thing, okay, and everybody should be in it. And man, whew, that really threw me. It did. And I don't go down that road anymore. So I'm not saying to let somebody verbally abuse you. If you have somebody that's verbally abused you, get in your damn car and leave, okay? I hope you respect yourself enough, no matter who they are. Your family, not your family, it don't matter. But, if you're going in this situation and they're going to go, how's that internet thing working, okay? They really are curious. They don't believe it because they have a box, okay, like you did. You're expanding your box or hopefully breaking out of your box so they don't get it. And just tell them everything's going great and change the subject. Change the subject. Don't try to convince them and don't be mad at them because it hurt me. It was like, oh, they're making fun of me or they don't believe in me and they don't believe in my dream. That hurt me. I understand that hurts. They were taught to not believe in that stuff. So just remember why you love them. Remember why you're there. If it's really annoying, remember you're leaving in a few hours, okay? And find that to appreciate. But just let them be and hang out with your community, and uplift each other and be thankful for that. That's where I'm done for tonight. That's where I'm going.
Yeah, and I think that wraps it up in a nice little bow for like you say, Ellie, for the holidays, and what you just said is perfect. I think for anybody that's celebrating Thanksgiving with their families here in America, that just appreciate everybody, and if they ask, just say, you know what, it's going great. Pass the gravy, okay? So with that note, I think we can bow out and give our thanks to everybody again, and have Carol toast us out, if that'd be all right. What do you think, gals?
That sounds good to me.
All right.
I think that was a good note to end on. Here is to everybody who joins us on the Hangout, everybody who will join us and watch the replay, everybody who has our back, everybody who offers us support, to one another, and to our families. Happy Thanksgiving.
Cheers.
Happy Thanksgiving. Cheers.
Happy Thanksgiving. And
we'll be back next week, next Tuesday. We will see you all then. We are out. Here we go.
Thank you.